Chapter 13 Results of a Duel. For his part, Bigman advanced with gentle movements of his legs that translated themselves into slow and graceful steps, almost as though he were on springs. In a way he was. Mercurian surface gravity was almost precisely equal to Martian surface gravity, and it was something he was at home with thoroughly. His cool gray eyes, watching sharply, noticed every sway in Yurtil's body, every nodding of a sudden muscle as he worked to keep erect. Small misjudgments, even in merely keeping one's balance, were inevitable when working in a gravity to which one was unaccustomed. Bigman moved in suddenly, springing from foot to foot and side to side in a broken motion that was at once amusingly dance-like and completely confusing. "What is this?" growled Yurtil in exasperation. "A Martian waltz?" "Kind of," said Bigman. His arm lunged outward and his bare knuckles slammed into Yurtil's side with a resounding thwack, staggering the big fellow. There was a gasp from the audience and one yell of, "Hey, boy!" Bigman stood there, arms akimbo, waiting for Yurtil to recover his balance. Yurtil did so in a matter of 5 seconds, but now there was an angry red splotch on his side and a similar, angrier one on each cheekbone. His own arm shot out powerfully, his right palm half open as though a slap would be sufficient to fling this stinging insect out of his way forever. But the blow continued, dragging Yurtil about. Bigman had ducked, leaving a fraction of an inch to spare with the sure judgment of a perfectly coordinated body. Yurtil's efforts to stop his follow-through left him teetering wildly back to Bigman. Bigman placed his foot on the seat of Yurtil's pants and shoved gently. The recoil sent him hopping easily backward on the other foot, but Yurtil went slowly forward on his face in grotesque slow motion. There was sudden laughter from the sidelines. One of the spectators called out, "Change my mind, Yurtil, I'm betting." Yurtil made no gesture of hearing this. He was facing Bigman again, and from the corner of his thick lips a viscid drop of saliva made its way down the corner of his chin. "Up the gravity!" he roared hoarsely. "Get it to normal!" "What's the matter, Tubbo?" mocked Bigman. "Isn't 40 pounds in your favor enough?" I'll kill you!" Yurtil shouted. "Go ahead!" Bigman spread his arms in mock invitation. But Yurtil was not entirely beyond reason. He circled Bigman, hopping a little in ungainly fashion. He said, "I'll get my gravity legs, bug, and once I grab you anywhere, that piece gets torn off you. Crab away!" But there was an uneasy silence among the men who watched now. Yurtil was a stooping barrel, his arms sweeping out and wide, his legs spread. He was keeping his balance, catching the rhythm of the gravity. Bigman was a slender stock in comparison. He might be as graceful and self-assured as a dancer, yet he looked pitifully small. Bigman seemed unworried. He hopped forward with a sudden stamp of his feet that sent him shooting high in the air, and when Yurtil lunged at the rising figure, Bigman lifted his feet and went down behind his adversary before the other could turn around. There was loud applause, and Bigman grinned. He performed what was almost a pirouette as he ducked under one of the great arms that threatened him, reaching out and bringing the side of his hand sharply down against the biceps. Yurtil restrained a cry and whirled again. Yurtil maintained a dreadful calm to all these grandstanding provocations now. Bigman, on the other hand, tried in every way he could to taunt and string Yurtil into a wild motion that would send him shooting off balance. Forward and away, quick, sharp blows for which all their thick, flickering qualities carried a sting. But a new respect for Yurtil was growing in the small Martian's mind. The cover was taking it. He was maintaining his ground like a bear warding off the attack of a hunting dog, and Bigman was the hunting dog which could only hover at the outskirts, snap, snarl, and keep out of the reach of the bear's paws. Yurtil even looked like a bear with his large, hairy body, his small, bloodshot eyes, and his jolly, bristly face. "Fat cover," jeered Bigman. "I'm the only one giving the customers a show." Yurtil shook his head slowly. "Come closer," he said. "Sure," said Bigman lightly, dashing in. With flashing movements, he caught Yurtil on the side of the jaw and was under his arm and away in almost the same movement. Yurtil's arm half moved, but it was too late, and the motion wasn't completed. He swayed a little. "Try it again," he said. Bigman tried it again, twisting and diving under his other arm, this time, with a little bow to accept the roars of approval. "Try it again," said Yurchiel thickly. "Sure," said Bigman, and he dashed. This time Yurchiel was thoroughly prepared. He moved neither head nor arms, but his right foot shot forward. Bigman doubled, or tried to, in midair, and didn't quite make it. His ankle was caught and pinned brutally for a moment by Yurchiel's shoe. Bigman yelped at the pressure. Yurchiel's rapid movement carried him forward, and Bigman, with a quick, desperate shove at the other's back, accelerated that movement. This time, Yurchiel, more accustomed to the gravity, was not thrown forward as far and recovered more quickly, while Bigman, with his ankle on fire, moved about with a frightening clumsiness. With a wild shout, Yurchiel charged, and Bigman, pivoting on his good foot, was not fast enough. His right shoulder was caught in one ham-like fist. His right elbow was caught in the other. They went down together. A groan went up almost in concert from the spectators, and Cook, watching ashen faces, he cried out, "Stop the fight!" in a croaking voice that went completely unheeded. Yurchiel got to his feet, his grip firm on Bigman, lifting the Martian as though he were a feather. Bigman, face twisted in pain, writhed to get footing of his own. Yurchiel muttered in the little fellow's ear, "You thought you were wise, tricking me into fighting under low gravity. Do you still think so?" Bigman wasted no time in thought. He would have to get at least one foot on the floor, or on Yurchiel's kneecap, for his right foot rested momentarily on Yurchiel's knee, and that would have to do. Bigman pushed down hard and lunged his body backward. Yurchiel swayed forward. That was not dangerous for Yurchiel in itself, but his balancing muscles overshot the mark in low gravity, and in righting himself he swayed backward, and as he did so, Bigman, expecting that, shifted his weight and pushed hard forward. Yurchiel went down so suddenly that the spectators could not see how it was accomplished. Bigman wrenched, half free. He was on his feet like a cat, with his right arm still pinned. Bigman brought his left arm down on Yurchiel's wrist and brought up his knee sharply against the other's elbow. Yurchiel howled, and his grip on Bigman loosened as he shifted position to keep his own arm from being broken. Bigman took his chance with the quickness of a jet's ignition. He wrenched his pinned hand completely loose while maintaining his grip on Yurchiel's wrist. His freed hand came down on Yurchiel's arm above the elbow. He had a two-handed grip on Yurchiel's left arm. Yurchiel was scrambling to his feet, and as he did so, Bigman's body bowed and his back muscles went down hard with effort. He lifted along the line of Yurchiel's own motion of rising. Bigman's muscles, combined with the action of Yurchiel's lift, carried that large body free of the ground in a slow motion, impressive display of what could be done in a low-gravity field. With his muscles near to cracking, Bigman whipped Yurchiel's torso still further upward and then let go, watching it as it went flailing in a parabolic arc that seemed grotesquely slow by Earth standards. They all watched, and were all caught in the sudden change of gravity. Earth's full gravity snapped on with the force and speed of a blaster bolt, and Bigman went to his knees with a painful wrench on his twisted ankle. The spectators also went down in a chorus of confused cries of pain and astonishment. Bigman caught only the merest glimpse of what happened to Yurchiel. The change in gravity had caught him almost at the high point of the parabola, snapping him downward with sharp acceleration. His head struck a protecting stanchion of one of the generators, a sharp, crackling blow. Bigman, rising painfully to his feet, tried to shake sense into his addled brains. He staggered and was aware of Yurchiel sprawled limply, of Cook kneeling at Yurchiel's side. "What happened?" cried Bigman. "What happened to the gravity?" The others echoed the question. As nearly as Bigman could tell, Cook was the only one on his feet, and the only one who seemed to be thinking. Cook was saying, "Never mind the gravity, it's Yurchiel." "Is he hurt?" "Not any more," said Cook, getting up from his kneeling position. "I'm pretty sure he's dead." They made an uneasy circle about the body. Bigman said, "Better get Dr. Gardoma." He scarcely heard himself say it. A great thought had come to him. "There's going to be trouble," said Cook. "You killed him, Bigman." "The change in gravity did that," said Bigman. "That'll be hard to explain. You threw him." Bigman said, "I'll face any trouble, don't worry." Cook licked his lips and looked away. I'll call Gardoma. Gardoma arrived 5 minutes later, and the shortness of his examination was proof enough that Cook had been correct. The physician rose to his feet, wiping his hands on a pocket handkerchief. He said gravely, Dead. Fractured skull. How did it happen? Several voices spoke at once, but Cook waved them down. He said, A grudge fight between Bigman and Yurtil. Between Bigman and Yurtil? Exploded Dr. Gardoma. Who allowed that? Are you crazy expecting Bigman to stand up? Easy there, said Bigman. I'm in one piece. Cook said in angry defense, That's right, Gardoma. It's Yurtil that's dead, and it was Bigman who insisted on the fight. You admit that, don't you? I admit it, all right, said Bigman. I also said it was to be under Mercurian gravity. Dr. Gardoma's eyes opened wide. Mercurian gravity here? He looked at his feet as though wondering if his senses were really playing him tricks and he were really lighter than he felt. Isn't Mercurian gravity anymore, said Bigman, because the pseudograv field snapped to full Earth's gravity at a crucial time. Bam! Like that. That's what killed Yurtil, not yours truly. What made the pseudograv snap to Earth levels? Said Gardoma. There was silence. Cook said feebly, It might have been a short. Nuts, said Bigman. The lever's pulled up. It didn't do that by itself. There was a new silence and an uneasy one. One of the technicians cleared his throat and said, Maybe in the excitement of the fight someone was moving around and shoved it up of his shoulder without even realizing it. The others agreed eagerly. One of them said, Space, it just happened. Cook said, I'll have to report the entire incident, Bigman. Well, said the small Martian calmly. Am I under arrest for manslaughter? No, said Cook uncertainly. I won't arrest you, but I have to report, and you may be arrested in the end. Well, thanks for the warning. For the first time since returning from the mines, Bigman found himself thinking of Lucky. This, he thought, is a fine pick of trouble for Lucky to find waiting for him when he comes back. And yet there was an odd stir of excitement in the little Martian, too, for he was sure he could get out of the trouble, and show Lucky a thing or two in the process. A new voice broke in. Big man! Everyone looked up. It was Peverell, stepping down the ramp that led from the upper levels. Great space, Bigman, why are you down here? And Cook? Then almost pettishly, What's going on? No one seemed to be able to say anything at all. The old astronomer's eyes fell on the prone body of Yurtil, and he said with mild surprise, Is he dead? To Bigman's astonishment, Peverell seemed to lose interest in that. He didn't even wait for his question to be answered before turning to Bigman once more. He said, Where is Lucky Starr? Bigman opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Finally he managed to say weakly, Why do you ask? Is he still in the mines? Well, or is he on Sunside? Well, great spaceman, is he on Sunside? Bigman said, I want to know why you're asking. Mindies, said Peverell impatiently, is out in his flitter patrolling the area covered by his cables. He does that sometimes. So he's either mad or he's correct in saying he's seen Lucky Starr out there. Where? Cried Bigman at once. Dr. Peverell's mouth compressed in disapproval. Then he is out there, that's plain enough. Well, your friend Lucky Starr was apparently in trouble with a mechanical man, a robot. A robot? And according to Mindies, who has not landed but is waiting for a party to be sent out, Lucky Starr is dead.